Okay, so what's the difference between fixed and floating exchange rates?
This is a very basic concept in international economics.
So can you name any country that follows fixed exchange rate? If it is a basic question in international economics and you did not know a single country that is on fixed exchange rate, China, Turkey, you went to IIM Indore and a case study was thrown at us.
Yes.
It's almost like you've gone there and you were expecting something else and they threw something at you. You're accusing one of the premier B schools of being absolutely ad hoc. The interview becomes such a pleasant experience that you begin to feel we are family members. Unfortunately, we are not.
Good afternoon.
Okay, Rishika, can you tell us something about yourself?
Hello. I am Rishika Baheti. I am a third-year economics student in IMS Mumbai, and I'm originally from Indore. I have led several councils and student council in school, college fests in college, and I was also the Reliance Foundation undergraduate scholar. And I'm also a case comp enthusiast. I recently won IIM Indore's flagship Imperium, which was a marketing case study.
So you have won IIM Indore Imperium case study competition. So can you throw some light over it?
Definitely. So this was 2024. There were 2 rounds. The first round was an online screening round, which was pretty simple to crack. Actually, it was a very spontaneous plan to go into this case competition. And when we reached IIM Indore, we were thrown a case study at us. It was a caffeine-free energy drink called HydroShark. And we were supposed to market it with giants like Red Bull and other agents. And we successfully created a marketing pitch in 2 days. And we came second runner-up. Yeah.
Fair enough, Rishika. Pitch to us. The same pitch that you made very succinctly, very precisely. Give us a crisp pitch where you pitched this particular caffeine-free energy drink as a competitor to the established market players, and they thought it good enough to give you a second runner-up. Pitch to us.
Sure. Can I just collect my thoughts for a moment?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Okay. So this is one of the solutions that we proposed. I'm going to go ahead with that. So, hello, this is HydroShark, your very own caffeine-free brand. It gives you the energy spike without the crash. So, I'm sure you all are bored of the good old regular Red Bull. We did not say Red Bull. We're the good old original caffeine-free brands, original energy drink brands. But here we've come up with something special. We have something that interests you even more. We have launched 4 packaging variants. The F1 variant, the Formula 1 variant, the cricket variant, the football variant, and the basketball variant to cater to a specific audience. It will be more interesting to play a game if you have an energy drink can which has your favorite sport on it, as well as is aiding to your health because it's caffeine free. That was one of the pitches that we said.
How would I separate the constituents of the drink from, let's say, cricket to football? Drink is a drink. It is non-coffee, it is energy giving. But are you suggesting there is something in 2 respective drinks which is separate for a cricket enthusiast versus a football enthusiast?
No, sir. The packaging is different.
Only the packaging?
It has the emotional connect of the packaging.
Okay, so the packaging was different.
The packaging was different.
All right, fair enough. And how does it resonate with the audience that you have in mind?
We aim at a very younger audience, audience aged between 18 to 25. All of these age groups are high consumers of energy drinks. And for the energy drinks to be caffeine free is a revolutionary change that HydroShark has brought.
Okay. Are the other energy drinks available in the market now not caffeine free?
They are not caffeine free.
None of them?
Yeah. The major sharks are not, none of them.
So are you suggesting that your energy drink is a pioneer in the caffeine-free energy drinks?
Yes, sir.
What in the drink, according to you, even by your estimation, can give the energy in the absence of caffeine? One presumes that the caffeine is the only thing that gives the energy. Drink the
Yes.
crush, to use your word, it does. So without the caffeine, what in the drink gives the energy?
The energy comes from sugar cane, sir. We use the sugar present in sugar cane that is extracted, and that is what formulates the energy drink.
But that typically sucrose, fructose is present in other drinks as well.
Yes.
Are you pitching yourself against energy drinks, or are you pitching against the traditional, conventional Fanta and the other Coke variants? Because that...
So it's against energy drinks, but what caffeine does is caffeine gives you energy for some times, and it then gives you a crash. We are pitching against the crash. This will give you energy, but not the crash.
Separate the two, energy and crash.
Energy is when you'll feel fueled for a couple of hours and then feel extremely tired right after it.
Fair.
Yeah.
And crash?
The crash is when you feel extremely tired right after it. The energy crash.
Fair.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite subject in economics or favorite topic?
Yes, sir. I have a lot of favorite topics in economics, majorly micro, macro. International economics is also of my interest.
International economics. Okay. So can you discuss some factors which affects the exchange rate between the currencies?
Sure, sir. Exchange rate is most significantly impacted by geopolitical risk.
See, geopolitical risk and other factors are at the core, at the root.
Are you talking
But
about exchange
economic.
rate appreciation and depreciation?
Yes, exactly.
All right. So exchange rate appreciation and depreciation is core determined by one's economy against the other economies. So let's say that let's say India is a major importer of a good, but the US is the exporter. If the imports increase and the exports, if the imports increase and the exports decrease, the currency will depreciate.
Give an example. Use a product or a service which is attributable to this decrease and increase.
Let's say Kuwait's economy or the Gulf countries.
Product or service, not the country.
Yes, sir. So oil is the product that I'm talking about. The Gulf countries have Kuwait has one of the strongest currencies in the world, and it is because it has a current account surplus. That means it exports more oil, and that is why its currency is so strong against.
Highest exporter of oil. And is a diminished economy without any possibility of recovery. Going by your estimation, that economy should be very strong. Something that has come recently to your mind?
Yes, sir. I think you're talking about Venezuela.
Why hasn't happened then?
So Venezuela has particularly suffered backlashes in politics.
Use the same variables you used for Kuwait.
Yes, sir.
Oil is the one that is a driver of this very high value of a currency. We should not depreciate because it is the highest producer and exporter of oil. Then how come Kuwait is doing well and Venezuela?
Yes, so very strong fundamentals Kuwait has.
No, that's precisely your point, which means that you cannot separate the production of a particular product to add value to the currency. If oil is one, then Venezuela equally should be good enough, which means that other factors come into the play, and this particular factor is there, but in limited appeal. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir. Okay, this point is very clear. Venezuela faces this not because it has surplus of oil. It is exporting oil, but is very fundamentally and politically weak from inside. That even though it is exporting oil, it is not able to tackle the inflation and the hyperinflation going on over there.
Okay, so what is your opinion about the current status of the Indian currency with respect to the other currency?
Yes, sir. Today, the Indian currency is about, the Indian USD exchange rates were about 90 point some rupees. And over these few months, since the geopolitical volatility related to Trump came in to action, the Indian currency has depreciated, which means that it has gone weaker in the case of the US. And this is particularly because the US sanctions have hurt our exports, our pharmaceutical exports, and our gems and jewelry exports, which comprise of
Is that the reason for the currency being what it is? If Trump were to be replaced by a more benevolent leader, more partial towards India, do you think the currency will go back to its original state, as it were, 4 weeks? If this point being the lone reason.
No, so this is not the lone reason. There is also a currency devaluation that the Indian government is following. That means that it devalues the currency on purpose, so as to help the Indian businesses, so to increase the exports. That is also.
Are you suggesting Indian government has devalued the currency deliberately? Is it not a function of how currencies typically pan out in the currency market? It's very easy for a country to devalue something to increase exports. You should be in the government.
Yes, sir. It is easy, but the
It's
world.
tempting to do that.
But can we devalue the currency in the first place?
That is not possible, because the WTO.
Why is it not possible?
The WTO has proper guidelines that you cannot devalue your currency to gain an unfair advantage to increase your exports. It is against the trade practice.
Forget about WTO.
Is it possible or not?
Is it possible? Yeah.
To intentionally devalue your currency. Yes, sir, it is completely possible.
So what is the difference between devaluation and depreciation?
Yes, sir. Depreciation happens when market forces act. But devaluation is deliberate. Devaluation can be done by selling and buying more gold. The reserves with RBI, the devaluation of currency can be done by buying and selling of gold. But depreciation happens with market forces.
Okay, so what's the difference between fixed and floating exchange rates?
This is a very basic concept in international economics. A fixed exchange rate system is when a particular rate is fixed for a country to exchange in, but a floating exchange rate is determined by the market forces of demand and supply.
So can you name any country that follows fixed exchange rate?
I am not very sure of a country example that follows a fixed exchange rate, but India follows a mixed floating exchange rate system.
How would the recent MPC, monetary policy, impact the economy on the ground?
Yes, sir. So in the recent monetary policy, RBI has cut rates yet again. It was cut by 125 basis points.
Which rate? Many rates?
Yes, sir. The repo rate has been cut. It is now 5.25. It was 5.5 earlier.
How does it impact
And
the economy?
it will directly impact the economy, because it will impact the money supply. When RBI cuts the rates, it increases incentives for people to borrow, and it also increases incentives. Increases incentives for people to invest.
Borrow, fine. How does it increase the incentive to invest?
Yes, sir. When credit is available at a cheaper rate and more, it's available more and at a cheaper rate, people with businesses tend to get more loans. They get more loans, and thus they invest more in the economy.
What does the central bank RBI mean when it said that India is going through a Goldilocks moment?
Yes, sir. I did come across that term recently, but I cannot particularly recall what that means as of now.
Right.
Yeah.
You also were head of PR, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the difference between PR and marketing from your limited experience as the head of the events in your college?
Yes, sir. So in our fest particularly, PR and marketing were different, because PR was responsible for engaging with the audience. We were responsible for bringing in the stall crowd and people in the event, which was public relations basically.
Right.
And marketing was responsible to corely fund the sponsors, which is the main event.
So are PR and hospitality almost synonymous?
No, I wouldn't say that, sir, because hospitality will cater to the highly qualified judges that come on campus, but not the students. The students will be looked after by the participation committee.
Okay, but the challenge remains that when the head of events, you were part of the PR as well and sponsorships as well, right? You brought in the money required to run the festival smoothly and earn up a profit.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Make your assumptions. If I am a prospective sponsor, pitch to me. Make your assumptions.
All right, just a second, yeah. Can I also know the industry of the...
Make your assumptions.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, I'm an FMCG company.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, so I am assuming that I am pitching to a food company, let's say, which is serving, let's say, boba tea.
Right.
Okay. So, a very good morning, sir.
Yeah.
I am calling, let's say it's a call. I am calling from IMS Mumbai. I'm interested to know if you will be willing to put up a stall in our upcoming fest. The fest has a footfall of around 5,000 plus people, which are students particularly interested in the new and upcoming trend of boba tea. And going across your Instagram profile, I also saw that you have various boba tea flavors, one of them being cotton candy, which particularly resonates with our fest, which is an art fest.
What will be the collateral which will I receive as a principal sponsor?
Yes, sir. The collateral, since we work on a stall rent basis, since the rent of your 4x4 stall will be 5,000 rupees, we will give you a table, a chair, a billboard to be put in front of your stall, but that is limited to it, and there will not be any profit sharing as say, and
I will want the email ID and the phone numbers and the names of all the 5,000 students that come to your festival. That's the only way I'm going to sponsor you.
Yes, sir. I don't think collecting 5,000 email IDs will be possible, but I readily...
Any registration information, names and numbers.
Name the numbers of?
And the numbers, names of the students and the mobile numbers. After all, some registration you will do at the reception desk when students walk in. So I will want that data.
So the data is, if we give you the data, it will be a breach of privacy. But what we can do is come to a common ground or a solution. You can employ one of your representatives over there. And if the students consent directly to give their data to them, then we don't mind at all.
So you mentioned that you build financial models for Netflix and HUL.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what sort of valuation models did you use?
Okay. So for Netflix, let me start with HUL actually. For HUL, we started with its segments, the FMCG segment and the other segments, and we collected data for the last 5 years of the balance sheet and the P&L. We cleaned that data. Further on, we picked out the cost drivers and the revenue drivers, forecasted them for the next 5 years, put them in the forecasted balance sheet and the P&L, and then made a discounted cash flow from them. Similarly,
what rate of discounting did you use?
I did not get the...
So when you did that DCF, discounted so what did you use in the denominator?
Yes, sir. The denominator was kept at an assumption of 10%.
10%. Yes. So why 10%? Why not 12%?
Yeah. It was a standard assumption that we had earlier discussed in the class with the professor, and that is why we used 10%. However, all the other rates of forecastation that we used were either based on the last 3 years average, or if there is an anormality or an abnormality, it was adjusted accordingly. That was pure our assumptions, but the discounted rate was given by the professor.
Between GDP of a country and per capita income, which one would you prefer to be part of as a country?
Yes, sir. Income per capita reflects more deeply what the country is standing at. A GDP may be high in numbers, but the population may be very low, and that is a very good indicator of a per capita income. But let's say the GDP is high, but the population is even higher, but then that may not be a correct indicator.
Which part would India be a case study about? Higher GDP, lower per capita income, or a China with higher GDP and equally higher per capita income?
Yes, sir. India will be a case of higher GDP but lower per capita income due to the largest population in the world. Russia, for example, will be a case of higher GDP and a higher per capita income.
Alright. What one weakness of yours, Rishika? Admirable background, but one weakness of yours which you believe has consistently been an impediment in your success as and when you couldn't succeed?
So one thing that I struggle with is I have a habit of taking too much on myself even when I cannot handle it sometimes. So that may have impacted my physical health a couple of times. But in future, I would not say that I want to keep taking less work, but I want to manage and space them out better.
All right. Which strength, according to you, has made you who you are today?
So the strength that has made me that I am today is the ability to talk to people anywhere at any time. I can go in a room and make friends, and I can start a conversation with anybody.
If one were to look at very, very specifically to a country like India, would microeconomics or macroeconomics, which of the two would be the way forward? I appreciate the fact that both have to go hand in hand before you give a generic reply. But if you were to separate the two and only pick one, and in a country like India, which one would be more preferable?
To analyze an Indian economy?
To going forward to become a better economy, better society, better economy.
Okay, so for it to become a better society, I think we should choose microeconomics, but for it to become a better economy, macroeconomics should be there.
Why aren't these two working in tandem for us? We're not just going anywhere with due respect to all concerned. Why is it not working? If what you say is correct. At a per person level microeconomics and at a country level macroeconomics, hand in hand, work in tandem, do well. Somehow it doesn't seem to work.
Yes, sir, because India has a lot of bureaucracy and red tapeism, which is why when reforms come on the table, they take a lot of time to reach the people who are actually who the reforms are for, and even if they reach the people, they might be of a completely different shape than the reforms that were originally planned out.
So what's your favorite book?
So, I do not read a lot for leisure, but recently I read a murder mystery by Agatha Christie, which was a murder on the Orient Express. Yeah.
So how can you relate it with the world of management?
Fair enough. Very interesting. I would, towards the end of the book, during the climax, it was noticed that this entire train in which a murder happened, the investigator was interviewing every single one of them, trying to find out one person who had murdered them. But in the end, it turned out to be a planning of all the passengers on the train who had murdered the person. So I believe that management is quite similar to this. I think one person will never be able to run a company, even if they start or lay down the basis of a company. But in a managerial world, working hand in hand with a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders, upsetting people or going through struggles is very important, and that is how it becomes a managerial world.
Do you believe, as an economist, if I can call you that the gig economy doesn't reconcile with the recent government directive around how they supply material, the standoff between the sector and the government?
So the gig economy, as far as the labor laws are concerned, is trying to transform those workers into having social security, which I believe is a step towards formalizing the sector. However, there are some aspects of the gig economy, like you can turn off or turn on at any moment, that is still holding the essence of the gig economy program.
Fair enough. I think we've covered that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So how do you think it went?
So I think I had prepared a lot, but everything that was asked was completely different, and I think that it went okay-ish.
No, actually, it was an above average interview. No? Of course, there are some areas of improvement, right? But in terms of the way you handled the questions, it was above average.
Very good.
Yeah.
But still, now you have a lot of things to talk about. Okay? But your introduction was too terse. I'm not saying that it should go on and on and on. But it should not be this terse as well. Because I was expecting to hear something more. Now, come on. You have done so many things in life. So, can you pick up something more, some more interesting points in your profile? And then you can drive the interview in that direction?
Yes, sir. I have done this AFS STEM in International Inclusion Program that I did in my 12th grade, in which was a sustainability focused online full scholarship program in which people from all countries, we were around 100 people, some was from Australia, Africa, Denmark, and we will sit every week for 6 months and discuss on the sustainability goals and the topics of inclusion. That was also the time where Afghanistan was struggling. And there was a girl with us who was from Afghanistan. So we would get real life insights of what was going on there. So that was actually very changing for me.
Now, you talked about a couple of points on 12th grade.
Yes.
So can you talk about from more recent times from college?
Yes, so college, I was a part of two major companies. I was clubs. I was a part of hospitality. That took a major chunk of my approx a year and a half. And I was also simultaneously managing my events. Apart from that, I had also done a 3-month part-time internship in college, which was in a research and consulting firm. And I was an research intern. So I had basically worked on EPTD, company profile analysis. This helped me a lot in my financial modeling because it had taught me exactly how to pick and filter company reports में data.
Fair enough.
So that was very nice.
So that is going to be my next point. See, if you are interested in finance, and then most of the times the interview is revolving around marketing. Now, do you see the problem? So if you want to drive that finance is what I want to get into, then make sure that you talk more about related points. So you could have mentioned this Macro research and consulting, and wherein I, as a part of my internship, I did some 2-3 points. And then I took that interest forward. That helped me filter the industry research reports and things like that, and apply it for stock market trading.
All right. Makes sense.
And I have started doing that myself, although on a smaller scale. At this level, nobody expects you to be able to handle crores and crores of rupees of portfolio. And I have also booked some profit. Then, if you had said that, probably because I am into stock market myself, so I could have asked you some questions on that. That how to pick up sectors. Are you into technical analysis or fundamental? What is the difference between the two? And things like that. So the interview would have been more finance focused in that case. So that is your skill. Now you have done both. So it depends on you.
All right.
Right?
Makes sense. So that should have been in my introduction only, right?
Now in the introduction, you don't want to talk about all the things.
Yeah.
Don't give them a laundry list of 20 things. You're done. Give them the most important points that you think are in your profile and that are relevant for MBA. And the point is, just don't give them everything. Just give them enough to arouse their curiosity. Oh, this sounds interesting. So let me probe it further.
Okay.
So it should evoke this kind of feeling in the interviewer. Then, what are your favorite subject in economy? There are a lot of favorites.
Lot of them, many of them. Yeah, it's manually. I was written back.
Now, from the way you conducted yourself and all, so I don't think anyone should misinterpret it, but it all depends on the interpretation of the interviewers.
Okay.
So if you are trying to brag about yourself, I know everything.
No.
Of course, I know you did not. You did not intend that way. But again, you never know because those interviewers have just very limited time
Makes sense.
to form the impression. And if they form a bad impression, then that's not a good thing. And when I ask you the question, the difference between fixed exchange rate and floating exchange rate regime, this is very basic question in international, fundamental question in international economics. Again, that can be misinterpreted.
Understood. Was I right though?
So your idea of that was right. And by the way, India is not on completely floating exchange. It is what we call managed float.
Yeah. Managed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I had basically said that out of anxiety because I thought that it's such a basic concept that we learned in 11, 12 and I cannot recall that. So that is...
No, but another way to interpret it, अरे ये क्या पूछा मुझे?
Makes sense.
Then, if it is a basic question in international economics and you did not know a single country that is on fixed exchange, China, Turkey.
East Asia itself, there are quite a few countries by going into the world.
Okay.
Then, devaluation is a term used for fixed exchange rate. Depreciation is for floating exchange rate. So, you must have read of this 1991 crisis, and then Manmohan Singh became finance minister for and then he devalued currency. So that time we were on fixed exchange rate. Later on we moved to managed float. Then you went to IIM Indore and a case study was thrown at us.
Yes.
It's almost that you've gone there and you were expecting something else and they threw something at you. It's difficult to imagine I'm Indore doing that. You're accusing one of the premier B schools of being absolutely ad hoc. Interview वहाँ खत्म हो गई थी शुरू होने से पहले. See, you don't know which remark or answer of yours can derail the interview or can elevate it. By elevation तो मान लिया, but one of the key ways to interview also is to make you feel very nice about yourself, and that is when you begin to falter. The interview becomes such a pleasant experience that you begin to feel we are family members. Unfortunately, we are not. It's a formal engagement and remain in the role. A very casual remark, one offhandish, right? That can derail it. Be careful. That's the old story. Right? Okay, clear.
So you went to IIM Indore and then it was a spontaneous decision to participate in case study?
It was a spontaneous decision to participate in the overall competition. But we ended up clearing the online quiz and then we were proceeding to case study. But I think I should not have mentioned that at all. Yeah.
Of course. No need to, right? That doesn't add any value here. It reflects poorly on your alma mater called NM. I mean, are you suggesting for a case study competition called in IIM Indore, NM, a Premier Institute itself, had not actually created a team and not cleared you? Or that doesn't make sense. You spontaneous, Achal kal chalte, Indore is a good city. You belong to Indore, well.
Yes.
Agar ye interview 15 minutes aur chalti na, I would have thrown the kitchen sink at you. Because we still haven't asked you about one of the most devastating situation where the water contamination in Indore. Hamare paas time nahi hai.
After being 8th cleaner city for the 8th time.
8 years.
Yes, sir, 8 years.
Consecutively, you suddenly have 10 people dying. Well, time nahi hai na. There's so much to ask you. So again, it could open up in the into. So your spontaneity is about going home, being able to spend 4 days at home. See, when I started judging you as spontaneous event, they threw the case study at you. My hometown is Indore. Then I'm going to start vague kind of inferences. There's something very odd happening here. So be careful. This casual, not that you don't have a casual attitude. I'm talking about casual remarks. I hope you understand the difference.
Yes.
You're a very serious-minded, very mature person at your young age. But never know. One guy sitting somewhere takes offense. You have to please the entire panel, man. Be careful. There will be 3 of you and somebody could take offense. Why is she being casual? Which, like sir says rightly, if it can even have a small smell of arrogance, perceived, not necessarily possession. So phir, be careful, be very, very careful.
Then your weakness, I take too much on myself. See, I'm not saying that it is not your weakness, but it is very generic. You know, interviewers have been taking interviews for years, and they might have heard this hundreds and hundreds of times.
Okay.
Right? So, can you dig deeper within yourself, within your mind, and then come up with a better weakness?
And I ask this question very specifically. You're an exceptionally accomplished person, Rishika. And having a weakness is something that you probably haven't thought on a daily basis. None of us do. And I specifically peppered my question by suggesting which one weakness of yours you believe has led to limited success, which is giving you brownie points for being very successful, and yet har bande ki weakness to hogi na. Like sir says, you have to dig deeper, because this question, failure, weakness to somebody like you could appear, just to judge how much clarity you have about yourself amidst your brilliant success. That's a way of judging a character.
But if a weakness comes off as very negative, then what do
See, unless you say you get drunk and beat people on the road, weakness kya hoti hai? What is a weakness?
So, very
Define
honestly,
weakness for me. Define weakness for me.
weakness may be some points of low in your...
That is not a weakness. That is episodic.
Okay. So weakness, something that is maybe hampering what you could achieve.
Yes. Weakness is something, Rishika, that's been there for a long time. Weakness is something that impacts you negatively. Weakness is something that you work on constantly. Weakness is something that does not go away in a jiffy, which is why it's called a weakness. It's been there for a while. It hurts you, it pains you. You know it hurts you, you can't do much about it. You're working very hard to mitigate it. That is actually called a weakness. And that comes from self-clarity. Do you have clarity? Strength to koi bhi bol sakta. As sir also said specifically, anybody can use a strength, but weakness. So it doesn't go against you. Be very, very careful. Okay, so I want to make a couple of points. 2 points, be very, very careful. One, I think your general awareness is a problem. The 10-minute delivery time, the government has formally proclaimed to the organizations that they can no longer promise 10-minute delivery. It's all over the country.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest things that has happened in the gig economy, and I give you a hint. 2, again, the labor codes. Women can work at night. Occupational security has been confirmed. That's 2. So GA is one area. MNC's income in the country is part of GDP. The definition is total sum of goods and services produced in the country. So if a country headquartered outside produces goods and services in India and income subsequently, that's part of GDP. Be very, very careful for that.
And there is another concept called GNP. So that is different.
For remittances, GDP plus remittances. Economics, BSc.
Yes.
So like I always say, every question should come across well. So don't lose. You're an exceptionally gifted kid. I honestly don't see any reason for you not to walk in. But given that you're going to have competitors like yourself at that rarefied level of competition, so you can ill afford to even have any lapse on your part. We'll be honestly disappointed if that happens. So there is still time for the interviews. Any gap that you find, right? Write down the question that you can, what can a Rishika ask Rishika? Do a role play, become the panelist yourself, write down the questions and see if you can have answers ready for them. Otherwise, I think you've got it made, nothing wrong.
And about your book, so you mentioned Agatha, nothing is wrong with Agatha Christie as such.
It's just dated.
But, and considering your profile and the fact that you're sitting in a B school interview, can you talk about any more serious book? Something related to economy, something related to business.
Yes. I am actually not a reader.
You mentioned as well.
Yeah.
But it's not that every student is an avid reader, but you may not want to make it very obvious. Because the follow-up question could be, every single day you'll have to read 200 pages in a B school. There's a case study and then background reading and all. That adds up to 150 to 200 pages every day. How are you going to cope up with that? Now, having said that, it's not necessary that reading means only reading books.
You read a blog on economics.
You read a blog.
You follow Ruchi Sharma, for example. You follow Raghuram Rajan or any of the people writing on the economy, Subramaniam or somebody. So it shows that you are interested in the area that you're keen on. So you read on finance.
I could have actually mentioned I read a lot of EPW articles.
EPW is the one that we also recommend for as a source. Yes. Perfect. So choose your answers carefully. As a sir said, nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But another answer would have been better off. Right? And you were good on your pitches, both of them. Good work. Just make your assumptions slightly broader. Put numbers into place. You should have asked me what kind of money. For example, and I'm absolutely rock on, brilliant answer when you said okay, you will not part with the data. There are ethical concerns. I specifically pushed you. I thought you'll say yes. On the spur of the moment, if sponsorship chahiye, you would say yes to anything. But I'm glad you stood your ground, Rishika. It's a pleasure interacting with somebody young whose integrity concerns are in place. It was pointedly that question. So glad for the response. Good work. Fair?
All the best.
All the very best. You do well. Just plug those small little figures in your candidature.
Definitely.
Done?
Thank you.